Arteta sort of making a silk purse out of a sow's ear. Welcome to this week's One-to-One with Simon Jordan, the final one of 2021. Thank you for all your support and comments during the year. And do not forget to leave your questions for next year, and I'll get into them in 2022. And of course, to like and subscribe. I'm a huge fan of Roy Keane, the player. I'm a huge fan of Roy Keane, the pundit, because I think he has his particular brand of truth. And you ask him a question, you'll get an answer. Sometimes I think he disappears into a pantomime villain role. Is he sort of pricing himself out of management roles? I don't think he is. I think his performance in the dugout a long time ago priced him out of some of those roles. I think he was okay at Sunderland for a period of time, but if you look at the other roles he's been involved in, specifically Ipswich, I don't think he set the place on fire. He might have set a few people on fire with some of his outlook and disposition in dressing rooms when he's been assistant managers at Villa or Republic of Ireland. I think if Roy Keane was going to be a first-class manager at 50, 51 years of age, he would have already done it. So I don't think Roy fits into the mould of a current employment criteria for people that would be looking for a manager. And I don't see Roy Keane dropping down the pyramid into League One and League Two to rebuild a reputation that had a little bit of momentum about it 10 years ago, but probably has nothing about it now. So it doesn't put me off him. I just think that Roy Keane is a ship that sailed management-wise. I mean, decline is all relative between Arsenal and Manchester United. If you ask if Manchester United have declined economically during the period of time that Ferguson has gone, the answer is probably no, and the answer to Arsenal is probably yes. If you look at the spirit of the clubs between Arsenal and Man United, again, I think it's Man United. I think Arsenal fans for a long period of time have been conditioned not to win the big tournaments and the big championships since they last won it, which is 17 years ago, 18 years ago, because they're not going to win the league this year. So you look at the DNA of a football club, a terminology that's much overused. I think, again, Man United probably have declined more because there's been a sort of tacit acceptance at Arsenal of a erosion from the end of Wenger onto Unai Emery, onto where we are with Arteta. But if you look at the real erosion and the real decline, I think it's probably Arsenal. They've won FA Cups and United have won European Cups. So it's a difficult one because I'm not sort of in the mentality of wanting to look at half-empty glasses. If you'd asked me who was achieving more, I'd probably say today, Arsenal, because they're getting themselves together again. But over the last 10 years, which is where we're really talking about, certainly the last 8 years, probably Man United. So it's one of those where it depends what viewpoint you want to take and what prism you're looking through. But either one of them have got to be disappointed because neither of them are where they once were. I mean, West Ham, for me, are doing really well, and predominantly doing well because David Moyes and his backroom staff have got they're whistling a tune and the players are humming it. So everyone's on the same hymn sheet. Whether they can continue, if you look at the table and say, if Spurs win their games in hand and United win their game in hand, then all of those sides are above West Ham in the league, and West Ham drop down to about 7th, which is probably their natural level. If they're going to trouble the top 6 and trouble the top 4 for the rest of the season, I think they're going to have to spend some money in January. And the question is, will they achieve a stability of top 6, top 4 over the next few years with GSB? Well, don't forget, GSB have already taken a big bag of money in from a Czech billionaire. So it's not just Sullivan and Gold, it's also Sullivan and Gold and another. So they've got a dilution and an ability to compete more and back their team more and maybe retain the Declan Rices of the world and supplement it. If you want me to bet on it, I think West Ham will finish in and around the top 8 season on season. I don't think they're going to get inside the top 4, and I don't think they're going to finish inside the top 6. Arteta sort of making a silk purse out of a sow's ear and putting them inside the top four. I think you have to give him a lot of credit, because I was in the camp when Arteta arrived that I thought he had the chops. I've gone offside recently. I think he's a lot more theory than he is outcome. I think the recent run of games flattered to deceive. I think Southampton were dreadful, West Ham were dreadful, and Leeds were all over the place. So we can't take as much from those games as maybe Arsenal fans want to, because the game preceding that, they were shocking against Everton. But I think if you're going to give Arteta brickbats, which we did at the beginning of the season, where he had apparently one game against Norwich to save his job, in media speak, then you have to give him praise. So does he get Manager of the Year? I think the Manager of the Year is the person that either wins the league or does something absolutely phenomenal. And an Arsenal side that spent a lot of money, 150 million quid, and I think that might even be slightly more than that, in the summer window, should be really in and around the top floor. Because their decline has been so bad over the last 18 months, we're losing sight of the fact that really and truly it wasn't so long ago that Arsenal were a stable diet of top four. So no, I don't think he gets Manager of the Year. I think somebody that works the oracle. If Eddie Howe keeps Newcastle out of relegation, he gets Manager of the Year from one respect. And if Man City or Chelsea win the Premier League, then they get Managers of the Year, because I think it's about achievements and achieving something that perhaps should be Arsenal's gift anyway, and just the manager coming of age doesn't make him Manager of the Year. Look, for the integrity of the sports, he's got to fight Dillon White. Tyson Fury has to fight Dillon White. Morally, literally, logistically, structurally, and every other E you want to bring into place. WBC defending champion has to fight the mandatory fight, the mandatory challenger. That's Dillon White. This has to be the fight. Joe Joyce is, maybe in the background. I'm sure Frank won't want to be delighted to see if Joe Joyce can get shoehorned in there. But no, I think Tyson's got to fight Dillon, and the only reason he doesn't fight Dillon is because Joshua's taken a big bag of cash, which I think he's highly susceptible to doing, and stepping aside and letting him fight Usyk. Other than that, this is not a genuine landscape, and no one should want to entertain it. Joe Joyce is not in that position. He's not got the right to fight Tyson Fury. He might have the right to fight the WBO champion, but that ain't Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is the WBC champion, and he's got to defend his belt against Dillon White. And if Dillon White wants to step aside, and Anthony Joshua wants to step aside, the only other legitimate fight is Fury facing Usyk. Anything else is corruption. Right, that's it for One-to-One with Simon Jordan for 2021. Now, don't forget, we've got 2022 beckoning, so leave your questions in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next year.